best-selling author Dr. Ian Smith, from fad diets to fitness trends. He's answering your questions. And before the break, I mentioned the importance of journaling, because it's amazing when someone says, "What did you eat today?" And they'll say what they ate, and you're like, "I was sitting right next to you, and you polished off this, this, and this. You left that off the journal."
That's right. Well, it's interesting. If you're honest about journaling, it can become a great resource tool for weight loss, because you finally get to see what you really are eating or drinking. And most of the time when you're eating and drinking, it's mindless eating and drinking, which means you're not really paying attention. If you journal everything that goes into your mouth and look at it at the end of the week, you'll be like, wow, that's what I was eating.
It wasn't 2 sodas. It was really, if you added up with the big gulps, it was like 10.
That's right. That's right. You know, and on The Doctors, my TV show I do, we had a guy who was drinking 3 gallons of iced tea a day. Sweet tea a day, 3 gallons.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And because we had him journal. And so him seeing that, he just kind of had this reaction to it and started drinking more water.
Just cutting that out, he probably saw a big change.
Absolutely.
All right, we have some folks in the audience who have a question for you, starting with Adrian.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I want to know, what piece of workout equipment do you recommend? The treadmill, the bicycle, or the elliptical machine?
That's a good question. All 3 are very useful, okay? I believe in something called high-intensity interval training, which means burst workout. So you don't just go on a treadmill and walk for 30 minutes at the same pace. Instead, I want you to walk really fast for 30 seconds and cut it down for 10 seconds. Go fast again. If I had to choose one, I would think that the treadmill tends to give me the greatest variety, because you can do an incline, you can speed it up, you can slow it down, you can walk very slowly. And so if I had to choose one of those 3, it would be that. But all 3, either one, could give you the kind of workout you need if you use it correctly. Most people don't use them correctly. They do steady-state exercising instead of burst exercising.
We walk, it's like we're walking in the mall, right? You're just strolling on the treadmill. With that said, let me ask this. Cardio versus strength training, which one burns the most calories?
Well, it depends, actually, right? Of course, cardio, most people are familiar with, but strength training or resistance weight training can do a lot also. It depends on what you're doing and how much you're doing, but I like them both. It should not be one or the other. It really should be doing your cardio at least 3 days a week and some resistance training at least 2 days a week. Together, building lean muscle mass gives you higher caloric burn because you increase your metabolism.
All right. Christine, what's your question?
Hi, I'm curious along the lines of strength training too. How do you feel about pole fitness as a way to lose weight and incorporate that into your regimen?
Yeah, so there's pole dancing and then there's pole fitness. Pole fitness is a little different. Yeah.
As a guy, you think about pole dancing, but we're talking about pole fitness. Now, let me say that pole fitness can work, but it has to get your heart rate up. Remember, getting into your fat stores to get that energy out means increasing your heart rate. You have to do whatever it is, whether it's pole fitness, line fitness, I don't care what it is. If you're not getting your heart rate up to at least 60% of target or max heart rate and sustaining it for the workout, then it's going to be ineffective.
Yeah, and Christine, I think that's the point that you make when you say pole fitness. Some of these women become crazy athletes. I mean, it's like you see the things, the moves that they can really do. So there is a difference between people who go because they think it's kind of fun and social, and you just kind of, you know, wrap around a pole and feel sexy, versus you're really doing a workout, and you're right. So, all right, JC, hello there.
How you doing?
Good. What's your question?
My question is, I'm 22 and I'm trying to gain muscle. What would be a good calorie intake for someone my age?
Yeah, so it's not just calorie intake for gaining muscle, right?
So gaining muscle, the 2 major components are calories. You have to increase your calories to gain muscle, opposite what we're talking about here for weight loss, but increase your calories, but also your protein intake. And so typically we tell people, if you're going to gain muscle, you need to lift weights, because weights will break down your muscle. Then you eat protein after the weight training exercise, and that will help incorporate more protein and build
the muscle. That's what feeds muscles, protein.
That's right. That's right. And that's why a lot of the athletes take what's called amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein, and they're taking amino acids to get their muscles bigger. But the key is when you do it. We think that the best time to do it is 45 minutes after a workout. But you have to increase your calorie count. You need those to have more weight, and you have to increase your protein.
Increase calorie count. Is that Cheetos, or is that like lean protein?
Well, we would like you to get it.
Increase calorie count. We all go, okay.
That's right. Both can work, actually. But what's more efficient is obviously lean protein, whether it's turkey or chicken, fish is awesome. Those are things, and sometimes protein shakes, healthy protein shakes can make a difference.
Yeah, JC, okay, I don't mean to brag, but can we get close up here? Can we? So maybe I I can take you to the gym and, we can work out together. I'll spot you, you spot me, whatever, the whole thing. All right, let's move on to some of our viewer emails here. And this one comes from Linda. And Linda says, I've heard that drinking warm water with lemon first thing in the morning can help with weight loss. Is this true?
It's amazing. You hear so many things, particularly on the internet. Water and lemon water, is very helpful because it can help detoxify you, actually. And detoxification is one of the steps to weight loss. The other thing it can do also is it can cut your appetite. So maybe you're consuming fewer calories at that meal because you have the lemon water. So it's not that the lemon water itself is a calorie burner, but what it does to you actually can make a difference.
See, we're always looking for the magic potion,
I know.
right?
There is
okay. Marie says, is it better to do cardio before weights or weights before cardio?
It's interesting. If you're trying to build muscle mass, then it's best to do the weight resistance first. If you're trying to increase your caloric burn, then it's better to do cardio, and then after the cardio, do some strength training. But, if you can do both of them together, that's going to win. But for my money, like a guy like JC trying to build muscle, you want to lift first and then do your cardio.
Yeah, and then depending on what kind of strength training you're doing, that can be cardio as well,
You better believe it, absolutely.
Okay, because I know I'm like huffing and puffing after one weight, and I'm like, okay, cardio's working. Okay, Alexi says, how long should I wait to see results before I give up? Oh, Lexi.
Wow. Well, you never give up. First of all, that's the basic answer. You don't give up, but you also don't focus on the results. You yourself have said when you had the experience.
Years ago, when before all that type of stuff, I was like lean. I had this six-pack. But the thing is, I made a decision to lose weight, to do the right thing, and I just focused on doing the right thing to the point where I never got on the scale. People would say, "Oh, you're losing weight," and I'd look at them and go, "What are you talking about?" But I went into a dressing room, and the woman said, "Oh, what size do you need?" I said, "A size 12." And she goes, "You mean a 4?" And I went, what is she's being cruel, right? But, and sure enough, I put on the 12 and I was swimming in it. I literally did not see in that 6 months that I had dropped 45 pounds at that time.
People
focus on the right thing.
That's right. People focus and obsess on the results, but focus and obsess on the execution of the plan, and the results will come. So my answer to that very simply is, you never quit, because if you're working the plan, the results are going to come.
Right.
People on my program have seen results in the first week. One lady tweeted me she lost 10 pounds last week.
Wow.
But she was focused on doing the plan. That's why we go and weigh once a week is the weight number.
Right.
So I don't want you to focus on the scale.
And I got to say, and I'll end with this, and I know as a doctor you agree, is that so many of us, we want to lose the weight for aesthetic reasons. That is not the real reason why we should be doing this.
Well, here's what's interesting. I'm going to flip on that. I've always said don't lose it for that. At this point...
for that. But if it encourages you, that's what encourages us. No, I get that.
If I can get you in the door because you want to look better, which is what Super Shred Diet does. Super Shred says get these 20 pounds off in 4 weeks. I just want to get you healthy again. And, by the way, get on our group on Facebook, Houston Shredders. We have a great group of Houstonians who are losing weight together, sharing recipes, so I encourage everyone at home, go to Houston Shredders, join us, because the key is we lose weight together, we lose it more effectively.
Yeah. Okay, let me end with okay, it's my last thing here.
Okay.
I adore you, and I'm going to have to count on you, possibly.
Okay.
Because I am going to do this diet. I'm going to do this Super Shred.
You promise?
Yes, I promise.
On TV?
But when I do, on TV, but when I do, I will come to work in a bikini. Yeah. and wait. This is why I'm going to have to count on you, because then Human Resources will call me upstairs, and they will say, this is very inappropriate. You look good, but very inappropriate, and they will fire me. And I will have to be your assistant.
You have to work with me?
Yeah, you will have to hire me, okay? I got fired because of Ian's diet, okay? We also want to thank Academy off the Southwest Freeway near Kirby for providing our fitness equipment today. If you'd like more information on Shredder Nation or on Dr. Ian's diet, you can log on to greatdayhouston.com, do the diet, and follow along on the website that he mentioned. Well, by the way, time to head on over to my shoe closet. All right, is Dr. Ian gone? Okay, I think he's gone now. Okay, so here's the, oh no, there he is right there. Okay, every time I see you, you always say, like, have you been working out? And I always say, of course I have. Actually, what happens is that I just wear workout clothes around him. And so he thinks that I work. There are some friends of yours, they show up at the grocery store and you're like, oh, did you work out? They're like, No, they're just wearing it to make you think that they're workout people. At least if you're going to wear the Asics clothes that I have on right now and these shoes, then you can look cute while you're working out. Look at that right there, okay? And all those workout clothes come in so many different colors and everything. At least with these shoes, they'll go with every single outfit you have. So Asics, these are the Gel Noosa Tri-9. I just feel like extra athletic in these right now. You can find them at all Houston area Dillards except for Pearland, also on dillards.com, along with the fabulous shoes. You can also find these awesome workout clothes at Dillards as well, in those bright, fun colors, so people will think you work out too, even if you don't. Well, there's a big birthday celebration happening in Houston this year. Our correspondent Courtney Perna is helping put up some very special decor for the party. So, Courtney, what's going on out there?
Well, Deborah, you've heard the term sticks and stones may break my bones, but today it's actually becoming art. I'll tell you where you need to go to see this amazing stick structure come to life.